he said. "We're keeping the program under wraps. Looking for the big reveal, if you see what I mean. The wow. Also, I forgot to ask, do the windows upstairs open? Because there isn't any point in trying to shoot out of them if they don't." I'd processed his words and understood his gesturing hands, and it would have taken a harder, history-loving heart than mine to ignore the excitement of a good-natured reenactment. The tourists flocking to town for our annual heritage celebration, Blue Plum Preserves, would no doubt love it too, but my mind kept skipping back to my original question. With guns? J. Scott blinked. "Sorry, I didn't mean to shout," I said. I surreptitiously wiped my mouth in case I'd also spit. But the stories I remember hearing always made that whole episode sound more like a loud fuss between neighbors than a feud with guns. But a feud is more fun. Plus, there's historical precedent. A pig almost changed the course of American history in 1859. Look it up sometime. It's fascinating. Of course, we're switching the pig out for a piglet because piglets are cute. People love them. I'd also like you to think of the marketing possibilities. If the event goes well this year, just wait until next. And I assure you, it will be perfectly safe. No projectiles, no live rounds, no actual aiming at people. Your mayor and aldermen were extremely impressed by how thoroughly and carefully I've choreographed the event. It will be play acting at its finest. Verisimilitude and good fun. We're taking Blue Plum's worn-out skit and giving it the life it should be living. We're giving Blue Plum's history the voice and resonance it was meant to have. Believe me when I say this will take your festival weekend to the next level. Blue Plum Preserves is going to be on the map in every heritage tourist's itinerary. The result will be more visitors, more fun, and more money in the merchants' pockets. Win, win, win. And here's something else that will interest you. If I'm not mistaken, one of the originators of the festival, a founding mother, if you will, was, like you, a knitter. Are you talking about Ivy McClellan? Ivy? He nodded. Yes, that could be the name. I see you know your local history. That's wonderful. She might be the one who dabbled on the original skit, too. The records aren't entirely clear on that. Ivy McClellan was my grandmother. You're kidding. Is she still? She died 4 months ago. This was her shop. She and a couple of friends wrote the skit based on their research. I am so sorry for your loss. He gave his sorrow half a beat. But then this will be especially wonderful. It could hardly be more appropriate for the shop to have a role in this year's celebration. You will be honoring your grandmother's memory and her vision by letting part of the action take place here. And that win-win-win I mentioned, it will go for you and the Weaver's cat, too. You'll see. People eat this stuff up. He smacked his lips and smiled. Frankly, I'm surprised you aren't already aware of the re-envisioning of what I believe is a cornerstone activity of Blue Plum Preserves. I opened my mouth, but to say what? That I'd been busy planning the shop's own festival booth and related activities? Maybe. To tell him my life had been upended and my mind otherwise occupied since Granny died? Probably not, but it didn't matter anyway. He was primed and ready and got in ahead of whatever I might have said. Also, if you stop and think, I feel sure you'll realize you're focusing on the wrong component of the event. He shook his head with a sad cluck of his tongue. It happens, though. Mention guns, and there are people who will misinterpret what you're trying to do. But I think that, like the others, you're missing the educational importance of this kind of event. You're focusing on a small part of our tool set and missing the bigger picture of our message. I could be. I nodded, trying to give him the benefit of a snapless judgment. He was right. I was having trouble getting past the guns. Guns in the streets of Blue Plum. Guns fired out my second-floor window. Guns in a little skit about a minor land squabble and wandering livestock. I gave myself a shake to jar my focus somewhere other than guns. Then, to give my judgment more time to flex and accommodate other interpretations, I picked up his card and read the fine print under his name. You're a piano salesman? He tipped his head and smiled. High end, he said.